Hello, network marketing professional. I'm Tim Sales. Communicating with your prospect is something you must do to be successful in network marketing. It's unavoidable. Before Professional Inviter and Brilliant Communicator, the common thought was either a person was born good at talking with prospects or he wasn't. And if you weren't born good at it, but wanted to be successful in network marketing, you'd have to prospect millions of people to put the law of averages in your favor. In Professional Inviter, I proved communication is not something one is born with and explained the 16 things that make up someone who is good at talking with prospects. It is the mastery of these 16 things that makes someone good at talking with prospects. Those things are the 10 communication qualities and the 6 steps of the inviting formula. The inviting formula is what you say to the prospect, and the 10 communication qualities is how you say it. The 10 communication qualities were born out of me hearing and watching people on the phone say the same script I was saying, but getting worse results. I knew there had to be something they were doing or not doing. One by one, the 10 communication qualities were revealed as to why a person was either good at communicating or they weren't. I introduced each one of these 10 qualities in Professional Inviter CD set, and then explained them in much more detail in Brilliant Communicator. However, there is a big gap between someone listening to the Brilliant Communicator CDs and someone being able to do what's on the CDs. This workbook closes that gap. Picture someone who has heard Brilliant Communicator. This person is talking with a family member about their business or product, and the conversation goes poorly. This person will think, Tim would have handled that differently. You see, they know there is a right way to do it, but they don't know it. They've only heard it. Now picture a person who has listened to the Brilliant Communicator CDs and completed this workbook. This person knows how to handle themselves in all situations. This also gives them enormous confidence to talk with prospects and gives them greater success. This workbook has been created to teach you how to really communicate with your prospects, not with just your words, but also your eyes, your body, and your thoughts. The value of this workbook is incomprehensible until you've actually completed it, so I won't even try. I'd like to share with you how this workbook came to be. About a year ago, around Christmas time, my wife and I were having dinner with 2 network marketing leaders, Ennis and Arlene Hutchison, in their beautiful log home in Utah. Arlene said to me, Tim, Professional Inviter is amazing, but people don't get it. It's so rich in content that people can't pick out the gems. Let me interrupt this to tell you a little bit about Arlene. She was a school teacher for over 45 years before getting into network marketing. She has truly mastered the 16 things in Professional Inviter. To give you an example, she's been working nonstop on this workbook and decided she wanted to sponsor some people in her business. Last week, she turned on her real-time leads, which were on pause, and within a week has 4 people ready to sign up and 12 seriously looking. Again, that's in 7 days. So when I say she's mastered those 16 items, I mean she not only knows them, but can do them. Now let me finish with how this workbook came to be. So Arlene had said that there is so much content a person misses the gems. So I asked her, well, what does it need? She replied, people need something that pulls out those gems and says, here, this is what you need to know. I smiled and said, you're a school teacher, do it. After she got over the shock, she said, well, what are the perimeters? I said, only one. I've never offered a product that wasn't tested and proven, so each step has to be proven. That's exactly what she's done with this workbook. It's been tested with her group, and she also tested it with a leader in another network marketing company. So with that, please allow me to introduce you to Arlene Hutchison and have her explain how to get the most from this workbook.
Thank you, Tim. I love to do that. But first, let me take this opportunity to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me the opportunity and the privilege of writing this book. Now, as Tim has mentioned, I have been teaching school for many, many years, probably more than I really want to talk about. But in those many years of teaching, I have become very, very particular in the tools I use to train or to teach with. So when I first listened to the 10 communication qualities, I realized what a powerful tool this was in building my business. I was so excited when the members of my team purchased the CD set, but my excitement soon dwindled. I only noticed a very little change in the way they were working their business. As an educator, I knew the information on the CD was life-changing, but I couldn't put my finger on what the missing link was. I soon realized that that missing link was my downline's inability to take the information that they had heard and they had stored in their head and move it to their heart. In other words, they needed to know the material so well that it became a part of the way they treated their family, their friends, the people they met. They needed to develop a passion for using it in their business and how they treated their prospects. This workbook is that link. As I have worked with my downline, I have seen a difference in their attitude and the way they do their business. They have more confidence when they talk with people. Their businesses are growing, meaning people are joining. They have the ability to train others to do what they are doing. They have a roadmap of how to invite people to look at their business. This workbook is not for the casual learner. This workbook was designed and written for people that really have a burning desire to know these 10 communication qualities. So what I'd like to do is to give you some instructions on how to use this workbook. We'll start by going over some detailed instructions, and then we'll give you some pointers on how to coach and train while going through the workbook. Tim and I will also be doing some role-playing demonstrations so you can hear how it should go. Okay, let's get started. In order to study from this workbook, you will need a Brilliant Communicator CD set. If you don't have one, stop right now and get it from brilliantexchange.com. There are 10 chapters in this workbook, each covering one communication quality in great detail. Now, listen closely. The format, meaning the layout, for every chapter is divided into 4 sections. They are definition, such as the definition for communication quality number 1, be interested. Then the next step would be questions. Then with the questions in mind, you do the drill. Now the drill is an opportunity for you to use that information that you've just learned in a situation, a real-life situation. The last part would be the evaluation. The evaluation gives you the opportunity to write down your experience as you've done the drill. It also gives your instructor the opportunity to evaluate your performance as you were doing the drill. Now remember, this is just the format of each chapter. Now let's move into the instructions. In every chapter, you're going to follow these exact instructions. I'll first give you each instructional step, and then I'll go back and discuss each of them more in detail. Step 1, starting with CD number 1 from the Brilliant Communicator CD set, listen all the way through it. Step 2 is complete the definition. Step 3, complete the question section. Step 4, get with your upline and go through all the questions. Step 5, do the drill section with the partner or your upline. And step 6, after completing the drill, do the evaluations. Okay, now let's take a few minutes and discuss each of those steps in detail. Step number 1, listen all the way through the CD that corresponds with the communication quality you are studying. For example, if you study Chapter 1 in the workbook, you listen to Brilliant Communicator CD number 1. Okay, step number 2. You turn to the corresponding quality in the workbook and complete the definition section. With a solid understanding of what this communication quality is about, then you can move into the questions. So step number 3 is to complete the question section by writing the correct answer to each question in the space provided. Tim and I recommend that you listen through the CD a second time. This time listen for the specific question in the workbook and then write the answer as you go along.
Arlene, if I may, let me jump in here and just mention one thing. This is an important study time. You're not doing this like you would a crossword puzzle while you're watching TV. So it's something where you want to stay focused while you're learning. If you multitask while trying to listen and answer the questions, you'll not get as good a results. I recommend you block out a distraction-free time to go through the CD and answer the questions. Sorry to interrupt you there, Arlene. I just wanted to get that point in.
Good point, Tim. Let's move on now to the 4th step, and that step is to review your answers with your upline. During this review, the upline should read the questions out loud, and then you, the student, read out loud what you wrote down for your answers. Once you've been able to answer every question correctly, you can proceed to the next step. We'll show you exactly how to do this a little bit later when we do a couple of demonstrations for you. Now, if you are doing this study on your own, you'll find the answer in the answer key at the back of the book. But please understand, this workbook was designed for two people to be working on it together. One other point about the answer key. Use the answer key to make sure the answers always stay the same. Instructors, don't rely upon what you think the answer might be. Let's keep the answers pure. The fifth step is to complete the drill section with a partner or an upline. The emphasis here is to give the person who is studying this workbook a chance to demonstrate or put into reality the concept that you've learned. You will be the student, and your upline will be the coach or the instructor. And our last step, number 6, is to wrap up by going through the evaluations at the end of the chapter. There are evaluation questions for both the student and the instructor. We actually recommend that the student and the instructor read through the evaluation questions before the role-playing begins so that they will know the criteria and how to evaluate the student's performance. Tim and I will fully demonstrate the role-playing and the evaluation so you can really hear how it's done. So, Tim, these are the steps, and they apply to each communication quality in the workbook.
All right. Let's talk about good coaching. To be a good coach, you need to know this material yourself. You need to know what to look for and listen for. Also, as the coach, start at the level where the student is at, not at the level where the instructor is at. When doing the role-playing, if the student feels like they need a demo of how this should go, the instructor should reverse the roles. The instructor is the student, and the student becomes the instructor. Go through the complete drill, and then switch roles and go back and do it again. You never want to ask someone to do something if they don't quite know how to do it, because if they feel they can't do it, they will feel like they want to quit or something like that. And the reason being is they don't want to fail in front of you. So be sure your students know how to do the drill before starting. Also, the coach should emphasize that you have a high standard to pass a student, and that high standard is the ability to do it. Simply passing the student is not what this is about. Holding a student back once they've demonstrated it correctly is also what it's not about. When the student demonstrates the ability, they've earned a pass. Let me give you one concluding comment before Arlene and I share with you a couple of drill examples. The big money in network marketing is made in training people to be effective. So from the coach's view, every time you are training a new person, see yourself as mastering your ability to coach. Never blame the student. There are no bad students. And from the student's view, you need to know the material before you'll be able to coach others. So allow yourself to be coached. Make it easy for the coach by being a great student. And if you're not getting it, don't blame the coach. With that, my wish for you is that you master these 10 communication qualities and be a great communicator. Arlene, can we do a demonstration or two so people can hear how this all fits together?
I'd love to.
Let's do communication quality number 1. Be interested, not interesting. Arlene, I'll be the student and you be the instructor. Is that okay with you?
That sounds great.
We'll pick this drill up at the point that I've listened to CD number 1 and have answered the questions.
Okay, so here we go. Well, good evening, Tim, and how are you doing this evening?
I'm good.
Hey, great. I am so excited to get started with quality number 1. But before we do, let me ask you, do you have any questions or concerns about what we're going to be covering this evening in this chapter?
Not that I know of.
Good. So let's get started with the definition for quality number 1. You were asked to write from memory what quality number 1 was. What did you write?
Be interested in your prospect was all I can really narrow it down to.
Great. That's exactly right. To be interested in your prospect. Now, with that definition in your mind, describe in your own words how you will use it when you talk with others.
Well, being interested in someone means that I'm going to really listen to what it is that they say. And if they're not talking, then I'm going to ask them questions that get them to talk about what they're interested in.
Wow, I'm very impressed with your answers. I can see that you took time to listen carefully to that CD, and you know exactly how to be interested in your prospect. Let's move now into the questions. I'm going to read the questions, and you're going to read the answers that you've written. Number 1, what is the first thing you do before you start talking with your prospect?
You have a conversation with yourself and say, I'm interested in you.
Very good. You say to yourself, I'm interested in you. Question number 2, when you have a mindset that you are interested in your prospect, what does that do for your discussion with them?
It keeps you interested in them.
Tim, that's part of the answer, but that's not the complete answer. It does keep you interested in them, but it also sets up your conversation correctly. So the correct answer is it sets up your conversation correctly. Do you understand how having the mindset of being interested in your prospect really does set up the conversation correctly?
Yes. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me now.
Yeah, okay. Well, take a few minutes and write that correct answer in your answer book there, would you please?
Okay.
Okay, next question. What do you put in your mind all the time you're talking with your prospect?
Well, if you put in your mind, I'm interested in you, the whole time you're talking to that person and maintain that activity of being interested in your prospect, then you'll never say the wrong thing.
That's correct. Being interested in your prospect will never cause you to say the wrong thing.
Okay, there are a few more questions, but we'll stop right here. This should give you an idea of how the student and instructor work together through the questions section of the workbook. Let's now move into the drill section. So Arlene, why don't you pick up as if we just reviewed the last question?
Okay, Tim, you did such a great job answering those questions. Let's jump into the drill. We'll get started with the Q&A first. This will help you use the information that we just discussed in the questions so that you will be focused on being interested in your prospect. I would like for you to read the questions and then give me your answers.
Question number 1. What should be your mindset before talking with your prospect? And I wrote, I'm interested in you.
Great. That's the answer. Okay, question number 2.
What should your focus be at the beginning of the conversation and all through your visit? Exactly the same, that I'm interested in you and want to find out how I can help you get what you want.
Yep, that's correct, Tim. Now let's move into the role playing. If you look at your workbook, it says, you, the student, start a conversation with a long-lost family member, instructor, that's me, that you haven't seen in 2 years. So as you can see in the workbook, there's a list of conversation topics on what you are going to be asking me or talking to me about, such as my family, my job, what I do for fun. Now remember, this is a conversation, not a question and answer session. The way in which you will work these questions into the conversation will depend a lot on the answers I give you. Now, during the conversation, I want you to constantly contribute to the conversation, meaning that you're going to add a little bit of information about yourself. But you will always go back asking questions about me so that you stay focused on being interested in your prospect. The drill will be finished when you have obtained the information listed there in the workbook. Do you have any questions about what your role play will be in the drill?
No, I don't think so. Is this is like conversation style, right?
Yeah. Before we do the drill, though, let me scribble down this little information I need to do here that kind of keeps me focused. Oh, also, before we get started with the drill, let's flip over a couple pages here and read through the evaluation questions so that we can have a better idea of the material that needs to be covered in this drill.
Okay, so I should go to the evaluations page?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can read through those.
Right, so
You need to find out. You need to know about.
Yeah, that's the part where it said, I want to know about the instructor specifically, what you do for a living, if I have anything that makes their life better, those questions?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
You got the idea of where we're going with this conversation then?
I do.
All right. Then I think we're ready to get started with it. So let's do the drill.
Okay. So do I start or do you start?
I'm going to let you get started. Like it said there in the scenario, you just met
a long-lost family member.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, are we on the phone together, or we walk up to each other?
Well, I am assuming that we're at a party,
Okay.
Kind of a, let's say, a reunion.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, Arlene, how are you?
Well, Tim, how are you? I am great. What's been going on?
Oh, busy, work. How about you?
Oh, same thing. It's just work all the time.
Where are you living now?
Well, you know what? We've moved to a little tiny town. It's up in the mountains, and it's really nice, but it's so far from work. I tell you, it's a terrible drive.
Oh, where are you working now?
Well, I'm still teaching school and having my days of horror as I deal with some students that I really don't want to be dealing with anymore.
My goodness, how long have you been a teacher?
Oh, too long, Tim. Don't ask me those questions. You know, this gray hair will start showing for sure.
Oh, wow. Well, you must really enjoy it, though.
Well, you know what? I used to, but not anymore. Yeah. I've just lost my love for it. I just don't have a feel for it anymore. It's kind of just something I have to do. Yeah.
So, how's your husband?
Oh, he's fine. He's got to drive too. He drives a tremendous amount of spends a lot of time in the car, and so as a result we don't get much family life. We don't have much time for anything except get up in the morning, go to work, come home, go to bed, get up in the morning, go to work, come home. You know how it is, the same old, same old.
Yeah, that's kind of the way the world operates.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys moved up in the mountains. Did you move up there to ski? Like, what's your what interest do you have up there?
Well, you know, we really did move up there to ski, but we don't have time. We've got to go to work all the time. We forgot that, we got to pay the bills some way.
My goodness. So, what's your husband doing now?
He's being an engineer, doing the same thing, engineering there, out about 80 miles away from home.
Oh my goodness! Well, yeah. Have you guys ever thought of doing anything else?
Yeah, we'd love to, but we thought maybe the interest rates wouldn't go so high, and the money would go a little further, and we could start doing some of that.
Interesting. So, how are your kids doing? They're
doing great. They're all grown and married and gone, and so we get to see them every now and then. And
any grandkids?
Yep, we got. In fact, we just had some new grandchildren and some new babies, and we're excited about going out and visiting them too. So life's good in those respects of being with the family and getting to know them. I'm looking forward to the day that I can spend more time with them.
Well, you know what? You and I ought to talk a little bit later on. Now's not the right time, but you and I ought to talk a little bit later on.
No, that'd be great. I'd love to talk with you.
Yeah, I think just catch up. I mean, now's not the right time, but just catch up and really have a heart-to-heart about what you're doing and all.
That sounds great. I'd love to do that, Tim. Hey, well, it's been good seeing you.
You too.
Tim, you did a great job. You showed me that you understand what it means to be interested in your prospect. The last part of the chapter is called evaluation questions. I call it debriefing. Debriefing means to assess the results of a drill that we've just done. The evaluation exercise gives you the opportunity to assess how well you did in the drill. And it also gives me the opportunity as the instructor to assess how well you know the information. So let's go into the evaluation questions. And in doing this, I'm going to let you read your answers first. Do you have any questions on how we're going to do this?
No, I'm just giving you back the evaluation, right?
Yeah, you're going to read the questions and give me the answers to the questions, yeah.
Okay. So number one is, what do you know about your instructor and specifically about what he or she does for a living? What I gather from you is that you work as a teacher and that you You're not happy with it. That's what I got from our dialogue.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, is there anything you could offer to make this person's life better? I'd say yes. A helicopter, that would make your life better. Perhaps a business so that you didn't ever have to go to work. That would make your life better. So yeah, I definitely think that could.
That you could find something that makes your life better.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I did like the way you asked so many thorough questions. Your questions were very thorough.
Good. Thank you. Number 3, tell how you started thinking like they think with the information he or she shared with you. Well, what became apparent is that it was it was the forefront of your thought, which is that you're kind of frustrated having to drive so far back and forth to work, and so I could feel the pain that you were having, and it caused me to actually want to help. Right? So, instead of trying to sell something, I actually wanted to solve a problem that you had. So that's how I felt myself thinking with it.
Well, and as you were asking me those questions, I could feel the pause in your voice. And that just made me feel so warm that someone was finally listening to my pain, and that I just felt like that you really understood the dilemma that my husband and I were in. And so, very good. You did a wonderful job in really understanding the prospect and thinking the way they were thinking. Good job.
Thank you. Okay. And then number 4 is, what did you share about yourself with your instructor and why? Well, the only real thing that I shared was when you asked me, how I was doing. And I said I was doing fine. I didn't really feel as though that there was any reason anywhere for me to share anything.
I agree with you.
There just wasn't, that opportunity.
Good. No, there wasn't. And you did well. I'd like to move now into my questions. In number 1, it says here, did the student take an interest in you? Yes, you did. Number 2, do you feel that the student asked questions that really found out what you were about? If yes, list the specific questions. You asked questions about what I did, what I wanted to do. You asked questions about my job, what I was doing there. And when I told you that I was teaching forever, you laughed and made me feel more comfortable. You found out my pain of driving so far because the empathy in your voice was very clear to me. So I knew that you recognized my pain. Number 3, do you feel that this person was really interested in making your life better? Yes. Tim is really interested in helping me solve this problem, so that made me feel comfortable. Did you feel comfortable talking with the student? Yes. And like I said, you laughed with me, you empathized with me, you were interested in my family and my job, so you did a very, very good job staying focused. And I didn't feel like I was being drilled. I felt like we were really having a good conversation. So, Tim, in answering that last question, it says here that the student must be able to pass all the above questions with no hesitation on your part to give them a pass. If not, then repeat the drill until the pass is obtained. And you answered all the questions without any hesitation on my part, so that I will give you a pass. And congratulations on being able to be interested in your prospect.
Well, thank you. I actually had fun doing that and enjoyed the whole process of doing it. Good drills. All right. So that demonstration should help you get started in the workbook. Arlene and I are going to do another example for you, which is communication quality number 4. Use the right amount of assertiveness. But you should stop the CD here. Mark the track time down, perhaps in the workbook in the beginning of Chapter 4 or something, and then come back to it when you've reached the role-playing section of communication quality number 4. The reason we want you to turn it off is because we're only going to be giving you the role-play section, and if you're not familiar with the actual content, we'll probably confuse you. So please turn off the CD now and come back to it when you reach the role-play section of communication quality number 4. Welcome back. Arlene and I are going to demonstrate part of communication quality number 4. Use the correct amount of assertiveness. We're not going to demo the questions or evaluations, only the role play. Arlene and I specifically picked this drill because in my experience doing drills with people, this drill is the most difficult unless you have an example. The reason this drill is so critical is because this one is the only one where discretion is taught. Discretion means ability or power to decide or act responsibly. I remember I was teaching my son, who was 5 years old, how to hammer a nail. He was watching me drive long nails in a board, and he wanted to do it too. He gets a hammer and nail and slams the hammer down on the nail while he was holding it. We all know what that does to little fingers. So after he screamed and cried for 5 minutes, he was up to the task again, believe it or not. Obviously, I needed to teach him how to start a nail, meaning tap it with a hammer while holding it, and then move his finger out of the way, and then slam the hammer down on the nail to drive it in the board. So I invented this little riddle for him. It was tap, 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 bam, bam, bam. I was basically teaching him discretion with the strength or softness of my voice. You see, until you've actually hammered a nail, you've not felt the difference between tap, tap, tap and bam, bam, bam. Some nails are so big, a light tap, tap, tap won't get them started in the wood. Yet, if you're driving a tack into a picture frame, too hard of a tap, 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 and you break the frame and the glass. Now, the reason that I explained that tap, tap, tap riddle is because that's the best way for you to think about assertiveness in this drill. In the drill, we're going to have you do bam, bam, bam way too hard. Then we're going to have you do tap, tap, tap way too easy, so that it becomes very obvious to you and the instructor that you're doing it wrong. Then you'll do it just right, where you feel your words smoothly communicate with your prospect. Once you know this feeling, speaking with the right amount of assertiveness is a lot easier. You'll also be able to feel when you're doing it wrong. Trust me when I say this, a person who always uses too much or too little assertiveness with their prospects doesn't know it. So in this drill, you focus on the intensity of the voice, the assertiveness of the body, meaning you step forward or step away, and how you approach someone. Do you run up on them, or do you casually walk up kind of, slanted sideways a little bit? Obviously, if you're not in the same physical location as your instructor, such as on the phone, you're not using your body to influence your assertiveness. So you'll just use voice volume and tone. By tone, I'm talking about the difference. Let me give you an example like, what are you doing? Versus, what are you doing? You can use the same words, but the tone can make the meaning entirely different. So listen to my voice and tone as you hear me demonstrate too much, not enough, or just the right amount of assertiveness. Arlene, will you please be the instructor and let's get started?
All right, Tim. We're going to pick up at the end of the question and answer section. So, Tim, I can tell by your answers that you fully understand it. So let's move to the role play. Now, this role play is a little bit different from the other 3 that you've already done. It reads, you, the student, are visiting a person you used to work with. That's me. And I have just been downsized. You ask the instructor what his or her opinion is about working from home with a home-based business. The student will observe the instructor with a third eye to help determine the correct amount of assertiveness to use with the prospect. Okay, now you're going to do this drill 3 different ways. The first time you're going to do the drill, I want you to be way too assertive. Just come on really bold and use way, way too much assertiveness. The second time you do it, you're going to do it with not enough assertiveness. You're going to be kind of withdrawn. And then the third time, Tim, I want you to hit it right in the middle and give me just the right amount of assertiveness so that I would really want to look at your business. Okay? Now you're going to talk to me about your home-based business, and you'll need to present a benefit to me. So look here in the workbook. There are 5 benefits listed here. Why don't you go ahead and just pick one of them for me?
let me do you work when you want to.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, before we start this drill, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. When I start this conversation with you, do I start at the very beginning of a conversation and do a greeting, or do I just jump right into, and assuming I already know you qualify and want to invite you to look at my business? Like, where do I start?
Well, let me answer that question by directing you into the workbook. If you'll look up there, it reads, you ask the instructor what his or her opinion is about working from home with a home-based business. Do you see that?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the direction we're going to go here.
Okay, so I just asked that question, and then by that I'm using the third eye to gauge your assertiveness level.
Sure, you got it. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, so now that you got your question answered and you understand everything, do you feel comfortable doing this? You ready to get started?
Do I feel comfortable? I don't know yet.
Okay,
but yeah, I'm ready to start.
Let's get going. You're first. Go ahead.
Okay. Arlene, since you've been laid off, what are your thoughts on a home-based business?
Oh, I don't know. I've never thought of it. I don't know anything about them. All
right. Well, Arlene, you get to work when you want to, if you want to. I mean, isn't that incredible? Can't you see that what that would mean in your life? I mean, like really a person would have to be just plain stupid not to see that working when you want to would be the way to go.
Tim, I think that I'll get back with you on that. I'm really got a lot to do today, and this isn't the best time for me. Can I give you a call back, and we can kind of go through that again sometime?
What, was I too assertive?
Yes.
Okay.
That was way too much assertiveness. You just drove me right down the ladder. I was ready to run. Let's do the next drill, and you are not assertive.
Okay. Well, Arlene, some people see a benefit that you work when you want to. I mean, it's like, it would be better than riding a bus, because I hate to ride a bus.
Why? Where are you going to ride your bus to?
To work. That's what I did before I worked from home.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, you know what? I think that I hear my phone ringing. I better go and answer that. I got another phone here, and I'll try to get back with you later, Tim, okay?
Why was I not assertive enough?
You were not assertive. You almost made me go to sleep. I wanted to run from you just as bad as I wanted to run the first time. Yeah, you really did a great job there. Let's do the third drill where you hit it right on the head.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, Arlene, have you ever been on your way to work, even though you have something you either want to be doing or something you feel you should be doing instead? Well, with a home-based business, you work when you want to. So if family issues come up, like let's say your grandchildren are in a play or your parents need to go to the hospital, then you do the right thing based on your value system instead of the value system of your boss, which is most of the time, to create more profit. Do you see the benefit of working from home?
Yes, I do. Man, you don't know how many times I've been at work and I wanted to go to my kid's ball game, or I wanted to just stay home on a snow day. Yes, I do see.
Great. So is that a pass?
Yeah, that is a pass. You did great, Tim.
Excellent. Thank you, Arlene. I'd actually like to go back through and purposely do it incorrectly so our listeners have an opportunity to hear how you correct someone who is not doing it correctly, which is actually the ultimate in using the correct amount of assertiveness. Very often the instructor can take on the role of being a very dominant person with their student, which is a violation of communication quality number 4. Use the correct amount of assertiveness. It's actually quite ironic. So, Arlene, can we run through this role play again?
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to do the too much assertiveness, okay?
Okay.
Arlene, don't you want to take control of your life?
Too assertive.
Okay. If you're so blind that you can't see that you're wasting your life sitting in traffic, fine.
Way too assertive.
Okay. You can't see it, can you?
Too assertive.
But I'm like saying it with a soft voice.
Too assertive.
Are you really that blind?
Too assertive.
Isn't that just incredible? Can't you see what it would mean in your life?
Too assertive.
Well, a person would have to just be plain stupid not to see that this is the only way to work.
That's way too assertive.
But I'm softening my voice.
Too assertive, Tim. Sorry.
All right. Very well done, Arlene.
Okay.
For the listeners, did you notice that Arlene didn't get upset with me? She didn't for 1 second get frustrated or anything like that. That's the sign of a good coach. She also didn't add her version of what I should be doing. That's what keeps the effectiveness of the communication qualities pure. You see, the communication qualities are proven just as they are. If Arlene starts telling me her rendition of what she thinks I'm doing wrong, pretty soon the communication qualities are no longer proven. So Arlene, thank you for being such a great coach and instructor.
Well, thank you.
And thanks for all you did putting this workbook together so that many people's lives will benefit. Well done.
You're welcome, Tim. It's been my pleasure.
The Brilliant Communicator CDs, workbook, and this instructional CD are protected by copyright law. Any unauthorized translation, duplication, importation, or distribution through any media source is a violation of applicable laws and will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Please demonstrate the utmost integrity and first-class use of this material by using it within the boundaries of the law.